कंज्यूमर डिमांड थ्योरी। कंज्यूमर डिमांड थ्योरी में हम यूटिलिटी के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, कार्डिनल यूटिलिटी, ऑर्डिनल यूटिलिटी, रियल प्रेफरेंस थ्योरी, डिमांड, लॉ ऑफ डिमांड, etc. So let us start. Utility is an intangible power to satisfy human wants, and it can be measured in terms of utils. In other words, we can say that utility is a subjective because it deals with the mental satisfaction of a man or a human being. Means anything that have different utility for different person. Means anything can have different utility for different person. For example, for you, phone has different utility, and for a poor man, phone has different utility. Or food, maybe it may be food, coffee, anything else has different utility for different person. Liquor for drunkard person has different utility, and for totaler has different property. So utility has been divided in two parts: cardinal utility and ordinal utility. Cardinal utility is the approach that was given by Pigou and Marshall in 19th century, and the entire approach is based on the fundamental assumption that utility can be measured in terms of cardinal numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, which can be added or subtracted. In simple words, we can say that a cardinal approach says that utility can be measured in terms of numbers. Some assumptions of the cardinal utility analysis. In this, consumer should be rational who want maximum satisfaction always. Second, cardinal utility means utility is measurable in numbers. Marginal utility of money remains constant, means value of money remains constant. Next, divisible goods. Next, there is no change in taste, habit or preference of the person. Next, there is no change in income of the consumer. And lastly, independent utility means commodity which we are using have independent utility. Now, cardinal utility has three types: marginal utility, total utility, and average utility. Marginal utility, what does it mean? Marginal utility means additional unit or additional utility derived from each consumption, or one more extra unit of that commodity consumed by the person is called marginal utility. It can be measured by subtracting total utility minus total utility n minus 1. Means marginal utility is equals to total utility n minus total utility n minus 1. Now, total utility. Total utility refers to the total satisfaction obtained from the consumption of all possible units of that commodity. Means the total satisfaction that we derive from the consumption of each commodity or of all the possible units of the commodity is called total utility. Average utility. Average utility refers to the utility derived from each unit of the consumption of the commodity. Average utility is measured by dividing total utility by the number of quantity of each commodity. In this table we can see when consumer is eating first unit, his total satisfaction is 20, and the marginal utility is 20 and average utility is 20. When he consumes second unit, his total utility become 38 and marginal utility become 18 and average utility become 19. We can calculate this by using the formula that I have given to you. Let me write it again. So we can calculate marginal utility by subtracting total utility minus total utility n minus 1, and for total utility we can calculate it by multiplying average utility with the total number of output or quantity. Average utility is calculated by dividing total utility by number of output or quantity. Now we will derive a diagram how total utility, marginal utility. We will derive a diagram and we will show the relationship between total utility and marginal utility. Before that, we will see when our total utility is increasing, our marginal utility is decreasing and average utility is also decreasing. But at one point, when total utility becomes constant at 76, our marginal utility becomes 0, and when total utility decreases from 76 to 70, our marginal utility becomes negative. So we will derive this on the diagram. In this diagram, we can say our total utility is initially increasing by a diminishing rate, but after some time it becomes constant at point P, and then further it decreases with the diminishing rate. Then our marginal utility was first decreasing by diminishing rate, but at a point S it becomes 0, and after that it becomes negative. So we can say that the relationship between marginal utility and total utility says that when marginal utility decreases, when our marginal utility is decreasing, total utility is increasing, and this phenomena is called positive marginal utility. And second relationship is when marginal utility is 0, then our total utility becomes maximum, and when at point after point T, when total utility is decreasing, our marginal utility is negative. This is called negative marginal utility. And from this whole page we can conclude law of diminishing marginal utility. That says that when consumer consume one additional unit of a commodity, the utility derived from that particular commodity from each successive unit goes declining, and this declining utility is called a law of diminishing marginal utility. And this law was given by H.H. Gaussen. Law of diminishing marginal utility